Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to...
all right. Now, other than being the pioneer, as far as private radio station is concerned in Nigeria, what other thing would you think gave Raypower the edge?
In 1994, yeah?
Yes.
It was the first private radio, and we had the latitude, so to say, to do all sorts. The stations that were run by the government-owned radio station, had so many limitations. Self-censorship being the key one. There were so many things that you could not put on radio on those radio stations. And when Raypower came, it became a voice for the people. It became a voice for the pro-democracy movement. Apart from the entertainment value and the entertainment programs that we were doing, Raypower came and became a voice for the people that, of course, will not have the opportunity, or were not given the opportunity to say and ventilate their anger and say things to government, look at government in the face and say it. And Raypower gave that platform. And I think that one was there. And then the entertainment value. At inception, we took radio to the people. We had this mobile OB equipment that would just put, it's like a portfolio, it's like a small bag. And you could, it's like plug and play. You could just put it in the car, and then you bring the antenna out, and from anywhere in the Lagos area up to Badagry and Abeokuta, you could transmit. And you recall then that we would drive, on Friday night, we would drive from Alagbado here, and then drive to VI, and we go to clubhouses, we go to, Ikeja, we stop along the way, and people were talking, and they were hearing their voices on radio, and that was novel. That was something that up to that time was non-existent. People were, if you are going to have any OB assignment, they were formal events. It's either the governor is commissioning something. That's when you carry the big vehicle containing all the gadgets, mini transmitter, and all of that. And so when Raypower came, it was like, oh, you mean this was possible? And so we turned the entertainment environment around, and people latched onto that. They were so happy that was something that stood us out, and above other radio stations that were in the southwest, if not all over Nigeria. And I think that was one of the USP that we used then, that made Raypower, that within one year, 2 years of inception, according to late High Chief Raymond Okwesi, we already made the money he used in establishing Raypower.
Interesting. So, having started out, when you quit working for a government establishment with Raypower, and now that you're in charge of Faji FM, what would you say is the difference between the two stations? Well,
I think the same theme. Government establishment. You are conditioned to toe the line of the government. You are more like a propaganda outlet for the government. You say what the government would love to hear, want to hear. You pass government information to the people. You sort of censor yourself on what you do, even up to music. But in a private establishment, I think there is a lot of freedom. The red tape is not there. Where you want to take a decision, that decision takes years to be made. By that I mean, you want a decision to be made. For example, in in some government radio stations, you don't break the news. You wait until either the top of the hour, or you wait until it's time for bulletin before you can put that thing on. But on private radio stations, once this news is breaking, because you are competing, for example, in the Lagos area, you have over 50, if not 60 radio stations, and you want people to listen to you. You cannot wait for an hour after the news has broken, after there is a development in the polity or across the world, before you put it in your bulletin, especially now that you have the disruptive technology of like what we're doing now. I'm very sure many people that are joining us are not listening to radio now. Okay, so you have that. If they want the news on the spot, they're already getting it on the go on their mobile devices. So if as a radio station you're still waiting for maybe a 4 o'clock major bulletin or a 6 o'clock major bulletin before you put that out, you will lose out to competition. Whereas in government establishment, they still follow that code. They still follow that rules. For commercial radio station, where what you do determines what you get. What you do determines what comes in. You cannot afford to wait that long before you get things out. I think that's just the thin line between the two, apart from the issue of financing.
Okay. Now, what would you say is the difference between Raypower and 5G FM?
Well, Raypower, the entertainment, news, and all of that, 360 degrees of infotainment, we call it. 5G is just the Yoruba pidgin version of Raypower. What we do on Raypower is, entertaining the people 24 hours round the clock with news, in-depth analysis of news and all of that, and sports. We now realize that having done that for 20 years plus, we have left out a chunk of the listening public. Those who also want to be part of the political discourse, those who want to be part of the political process, they also have a voice. But because of the language of communication and broadcast, their voices are muted, so to say. For example, if you put a program on, you call it political platform. You put a program on, you call it, fact file. And you're speaking English, you're speaking grammar, you're speaking all of that. There are people out there who have the idea. They know what you are saying. To express it becomes a problem. Not that they cannot express it, but when they come on and they make any grammatical blunder, the chances and likelihood of people ridiculing them, is there. So they rather keep mute. And so we discovered that there were people, millions of people, the underserved markets, and there was the need to give them something they can relate with and relate to, and that can give them a platform to also be part of the political process, that can entertain them in the language they understand and they will be comfortable with. And that was how we came about 5G FM, which is run for about 10 years now.
Okay. Now, each time or sometimes, when people talk about beautiful relationships in the media, they cite Mike Awoyinfa and late Dimba Igwe. They cite Kenny Ogungbe and Daya Dene. They cite Ambrose and Bashir Adisa, Baba Gboin. How did you and Bashir Adisa meet, and what is the current state of your relationship? Well,
I think my first contact with Bashir Adisa was in OGBC, when I was in OGBC. The late Gboin Adeboye had a program on OGBC then, and one of the people following him around then was Baba Gboin. He was always coming with Gboin Adeboye to Abeokuta then. So when we started Raypower and we created Mini Jojo, I ran that Mini Jojo for, I was on OGBC and I was running a program called Emma Bobo, which was a very popular program. at that time. And when we now switched, when I moved to Raypower and we started and we created Minijojo, we wanted something different from what I was doing in OGBC, which was a solo presentation. And a lady was made to join me who came in from a radio station in Ondo, maybe Ondo Radio Vision or so. But somewhere along the way, she could not match my vibe in terms of her own style of presentation was a little bit laid back. Very good in the command of the Yoruba language and all of that. But her own style of presentation was a little bit laid back and was not, you know, how do I put it now, was not suited for the Lagos environment. So she had to be given another program entirely. She dropped off. And then while I was on radio one day, Baba Gboin just walked in, introduced himself, and so, okay, what do you offer? So I gave him some 15 minutes to, display whatever he had, and I discovered that within 15 minutes he cracked jokes like a Bengadeboye would do, and then within 15 minutes I discovered that the studio was filled up. People left their offices and came into the studio. They wanted to see who that person was who was making them laugh. Okay. And so he left. He did 15 minutes. The following week he came again. I gave him another 15 minutes. And then it was same scenario. People came in from their offices and the feedback was like you should give that guy more time. And so at the program's meeting, post-mortem, we now decided that he should join me on the program. So that was how he came on the program and became my partner. And I think that partnership has worked up till I decided to, because of the schedule of duty, I have so much on my plate now, I had to drop from Minijojo, both TV and radio. I only make cameo appearances now. I think I've dropped off maybe about 2 years now. He's been running it solo. The one for radio, he runs it solo. The one for TV, we have introduced another gentleman to join him to carry on while I face other duties and other programs and challenges. So we're still friends. He's somewhere around as we speak. He just finished the program on radio, so he's somewhere around.
Okay.